if you don't have an iPad. You might bring your chair with it. Okay. So I feel stupid telling you to bring a chair.
Okay, so Brian, so far you have 2 people in the class looking up the YouTube video on the iPads you brought, and you have 2 people reading a reading on the iPads that you brought, and now
I'm going to steal one of them too, so
okay.
when you want to come up here.
And then Nick and I are going to be up
Okay.
here with you. All right, so here we go. So we have a 3-pronged experiment going on here with multiple genres.
Yeah, this is kind of the blended learning I talk about when I make my posts.
And the great use of technology.
Thanks. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to mix all these for you. So I have iron filings. I'm going to pour that in the water. I have salt. I barely have enough left. And I have sand. Is it working?
It says video not found.
The YouTube?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll be over in a second. So what we're gonna do is mix this together. And this is why I brought this, because it's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So this is a hot plate and a spinner stirrer.
Mhm.
So we'll start at 1. We're gonna put that in.
Was it chalk?
This is a magnet.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna slowly turn it up until you start seeing a tornado. And then you stop. If you go any further, it'll spill
That's
out.
so
Turn it
cool.
up. Go to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
guys
like
clean it.
closest to me.
This is like 7th grade, so all the kids are right to 10.
All right.
So let that mix for a second.
And are the other people going to get a chance to come up and do this?
So what would happen is we would rotate over a 3-day
Mhm.
period.
Oh, okay.
So you guys would be with me for the day. They would do that for the day.
Okay.
And then we would rotate on a 3-day
So
basis.
it's like stations.
Yes,
Mhm.
And how long is your class period?
48 minutes.
48 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. So what you 2 are gonna discuss while I go check the progress of the others
Mm-hmm.
is you got a funnel,
Mhm.
Okay.
you have flask, and you have
Oh,
paper.
Paper,
Forgetting the name of this all of a sudden.
okay. A disc.
Filter paper.
Okay.
And you got a magnet retriever thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Your job is to separate all that back out.
You mean all of the things?
I need 4
So you-
clear separate
All right.
piles.
Well, I'm glad I'm
Iron
with the
filing,
science
salt,
person.
and sand, right?
Yep,
All
so
right.
3 different specific piles. The sand can't mix in with the salt can't mix in with the iron.
Okay,
And
well,
I'll be back.
this is how I got through college level science. I just got with smart lab
Link-
partner.
Linked up with a science
I
guy?
ended up with a science guy. I ended up marrying the science guy.
I think the
so.
first part of the
Find
good
I did.
the
Okay.
science
I don't know how the
conundrum is
sounds
to,
work.
is
It's
to
just a
stroke
Oh,
a beard.
my bad.
Give it another try.
I just put closed
Um,
captioning on.
So I kind of know the answer.
Okay,
Do you
well-
have any, you postulating any
Yeah, just
thoughts?
First, I would get the magnet out because it looks easiest.
There we go.
Is that right?
Right, well, but you don't need to separate the magnet. You need, one pile of iron filings, one pile.
Do you want me to stay on you or no, that's what they're doing?
Oh, that.
So would the magnet then attract the iron, or would this attract the iron?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I could do both.
Yeah, you guys
think
agree
that would
to
be-
the reading.
So
Well, you
so
wanna
then
join
we
them
have
with
to
the
get,
reading? Over here.
okay.
Hi, Don.
So you guys are gonna do this one, group 2.
Thank you.
Oh, my bad, I forgot to tell you this. Before you actually do it, I want you to tell me how you're gonna do it.
Okay.
So what's your
Well,
thought process
I'm
going?
sorry.
You're
Dr.
fine.
Dr. Mahar had just postulated that we could use the magnet to first remove the iron filings.
Okay.
Because we saw at the bottom there, we used our observation, right? We were following the scientific method, came up with a theory, and then we did an observation, and based off our observation, we said, hey, we think that the iron's already separated. So we just stuck this in there, and all of a sudden, boom, we got iron filings. So
Okay.
we're a third of the way done. We feel
Good
like.
work.
I didn't know what to do with the
We
rest.
feel like we're smoking, so we'll just set that
Set
there.
that down.
Okay.
Set that down there.
So this
boom.
is gonna be the hard part.
So now we need
salt and sand.
Well, I guess you would use the filter, right? And then with the filter of sand, this would stop the sand, but maybe not the salt,
Why wouldn't it stop the salt?
because the salt has dissolved in the water.
Ooh, that's a good word. That's one of our vocabularies
Dissolve.
that we'll use is dissolve.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean to you, that it dissolved into the water?
Is it an osmotic process?
That's high school.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We're just
yeah,
seventh grade.
You jumped us.
I'm on layman terms for this one.
Well, the chemicals of the salt combined with the H2O, aka water, in order to
What would a
Dissolve.
generic word for that be?
dissolve.
Another word that kind of means like dissolve. I'm looking for like an M word.
I don't know, 'cause I like to put this on. An M word.
Yeah, you went from
Mix,
seventh.
say
Mix, good.
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to figure out
All
is
right.
a mixture here. So we made a mixture. There's two types of mixtures.
Mhm.
There's homogeneous and heterogeneous.
Okay,
That's what tomorrow's topic is going to be. So I want you to remember those words for tomorrow.
okay, I'm gonna write them down.
Okay.
Because you have that on this plan that you gave me, write down the words.
Yes.
Write down the keywords. So I
Yeah.
wrote them down so I can remember them for tomorrow. All right.
So the salt will come out because
The sand will come
The
out.
sand
The
will
sand
come
will
out.
come out because-
Through the,
It is not dissolved.
because it is not dissolved and it is the pieces are large enough.
Good.
They're not going to go through the filter.
So how would we get the salt out from the water? That's the last step. You have this too if you're not.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, then we would spin it out. No?
This is
What do you think
also
about
the,
that?
well, I know that we can, you know, there's something called I think we learned about the salt precipitate. Is that high school? Or is
Yes.
that- okay.
That would be high school.
Okay.
But this is the generic.
So being
the
that
foundation
you've given
for
me
it.
a hot plate and given me water, I'd say I'd try to heat up the water.
Oh, you're
And
gonna
maybe
boil it out.
the water would
Good.
evaporate.
Boil it out,
The water
okay,
would
right.
evaporate, but the salt would stay behind.
Good, and those are two words we learned in a previous unit.
Okay.
Leading up to this, boiling and evaporating, so that's
All right.
good.
Okay, and then you have to, of course, stop it before you burn the pan.
Right,
Yes.
so I'm gonna do this, and you no longer touch this. You're more than
Okay.
welcome to look at it.
All right.
Do you want us to get the sand out first?
If you want, I mean, I don't know how much time we have left.
Probably, I think,
You're at 7 minutes on this recording.
Okay, so yeah, why don't you guys, you can do that.
Okay. So we're gonna make this nifty thing. We can
Cool.
fold this.
Do you know how you would fold that?
I find the center
Good. Good so far.
so far, and then I fold this over like that.
Close. We do 2 hamburgers, or 2 hot dogs.
Oh, that's how we used to talk about it in English class, the hot dog way or
Hot
the
dog,
hamburger
yeah.
way.
And then another hot dog. Nope, keep it together. Oh, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And now another. Well, I guess this would be hamburger at this point.
Like that?
Yep, and now, if you look at it, you see 4 sheets, correct?
Yep.
You're gonna put 3 of them together and leave one by itself.
Like that there?
Yep.
Cooking with gas.
That's what my son used to tell us, to say,
Oh, yeah.
cooking with gasoline.
So how fast do you think you wanna pour this in?
Fairly slow so it doesn't overflow.
Okay, good. It's amazing what we have to tell that to the 7th graders. And now what's the fun part?
Is we get to wait and talk about.
We get to
things.
sit and wait.
That's part of science,
It's
right?
the awesome part.
It's just-
While you're sitting
But-
here waiting for it,
You
I
know,
wanna.
I have a
we could
question,
almost,
though.
count how long it takes. I don't know if that would be anything. Not really.
No, one thing I want you to do while you wait for this though, is we're gonna boil the salt out. Why will the salt not boil with the water? So try to come up with an answer for
Why
that.
won't it boil now with the water?
When we put the water and salt on here, that dissolved,
Uh-huh.
why will the salt not boil when the water starts boiling?
Well, because it's heavier.
Well, you two discuss that.
Oh,
I'll do that.
because it's got a different, chemical bond.
How's it
Right?
going?
It's solid. I mean, so we've
Oh,
broken
wait, Tom.
down the
Done already?
Good review.
Thanks.
the sodium
Took your
and the
notes?
chlorine.
I did.
So why don't you go through those and just
They
highlight
wanted me to stick
what
with
you
you.
think is gonna be most important on the test.
And then come back.
So
Okay.
that sodium and that chlorine that was stuck together, it got
Did you guys find any awesome article?
broken apart. Yep.
Reading about, we're reading about the,
So what's,
Science
we're
lab
mixing
today
the
right
sodium
now.
and the chlorine with the oxygen and the hydrogen, so
Okay.
that those have a different point at which they boil and evaporate.
Okay.
we started on matter and then we
Oh, okay, so you
We're
finished no matter what you
just
click.
clicking. Yeah.
So you guys are getting ahead of today's
Not there
lesson, but that's
anymore.
okay. If you
Keep
finish
them
the first
separate,
one.
they'll go back together.
Question?
Yes, Mr. Dwyer, I think the bell's going to ring in about a minute.
Okay. So you guys wrap up what you're doing, we need to put the iPads away, so if you can log out, whatever you're on, home it back to the home screen. And you guys, if we had more time, we'd actually do this.
Right. So we thought that, or I maybe overthought it, that the sodium and the chlorine are left behind because the oxygen has a higher escape velocity on the boiling surface. But basically, the water goes away, but the salt remnants stay behind because once the water's gone, they want to go back together again.
Okay.
They were broken apart. Now they want to go back.
You'd be my smartest seventh grader I've ever
Hey, I
had.
knew osmosis.
And you would
Hey.
too.
All right, well, thank you very much. Dr. O'Connor, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Central New York Science.